We actually, in transactional, have 4 steps. The first one is to observe, the second one is to measure, then defrag, and then finally train. It's the methodology that we use. The observation is very, very powerful. We're going to come and get 6 of your employees, and we're going to ask them to cooperate on a team to figure out really how to make improvements. We'll actually select one of those people to be what we call a lead researcher. We'll put them in their cubicle, and then we'll record pretty much everything they do. We'll record their mouse clicks, we'll record all their keystrokes, record all the windows that come up on their PC, and actually have them do 10 iterations of the same process. While that lead researcher is working and playing that role, the rest of the team is in something we call an FBI lab. And they're actually watching in real time what's going on in that user screen, and they're typing down furiously all the opportunities to make improvements. We then bring that person back to the team and rotate a second and a third user into the lead researcher role. So at the end of that exam, as far as the observe is concerned, we have 30 observations statistically of different ways to do that process. And so that is a very, very powerful way. Typically we shove people in their cubicles, we work independently, we don't work cross-functionally as a team, and we don't really observe. The second phase is to measure, and that's where we're going to again measure their effectiveness as a unique user, as well as measure the overall distance. And the thing about measurement is that we're going to want to show them the difference between value-add steps and non-value-add steps. So we introduce a comment called functional fields, and if you think about it, within a transactional environment, I might need to know the customer name, the customer ID, what's the price, what's the ship to ID. Well, the reality is it's actually a very, very small, finite list of fields that we need to control. And when we can penetrate their thinking with that, our goal now is to actually focus on getting those fields to line up side by side so this process is very lean. So that's really the measure part, the measure aspect of it. The third one is probably the most exciting, and what we do is simply ask the team, cut that distance by 50%. Because these processes are so full of waste, the team can work together to figure out how to do that. And whether it's instant messaging or macros or other software, we had one team, they were using dual monitors, and they physically put the one monitor up in a landscape portion, and they reduced the pagination, by 50%. All these alt tabs simply went away because they could see the whole form on one monitor. So that's really the defrag, and a lot of times it's more important to understand what questions to ask the team than to really help them solve it, because the creativity of a team, it's really boundless. The last aspect of how we do it is to train, and we've actually, since we have those 30 observations in video, it's very easy to actually create a training video of really the best way, and then to actually cross-train the different operators and create the learning tabs from there.
I think it's fascinating that you actually take the people who are doing the job, get them to step back from their own jobs and to observe one of their peers, to analyze each other for improvement. That is fascinating to me. That it's like you really trust them to know how to fix it.
Could tell you a lot of stories. We think a cubicle is really a prison cell for intellect. We're locking away our intellect in different cells. The other thing I would say is that, like I went back to the earlier video, if we just go through the scientific method of plan, do, check, adjust, and get data to support what we think, then teams are going to find really where those wastes are. But some things that we've seen, out in practice is, 25,000 emails sent in 4 weeks across a team of 6. 25,000 emails, and all of them were checking status. So it's all non-value add correspondence, really within a month. 6 people, 25,000 emails. We've seen tremendous quality mistakes because we're looking at the actual screen. We've seen tasks that range from 2 minutes all the way up to 12 minutes, same task. Tremendous variation, and so there's just tremendous workarounds, and TGG can actually calculate the effectiveness and show you where those gaps are.
And then you can actually help the employees improve their own process?
Absolutely, absolutely.